Okay, I know you can hear me now. Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me now. Live chat, put a 1 in there if you can hear me. Um Funny thing is I've been on for 3 hours now. Almost 3 hours. It'll be 3 hours by the time this episode is over. And I will only have 1 hour to show for it. Okay? Unfortunately for me. Because I was having technical difficulties. So as a result, it's not working for me, man. It wasn't working. So I'm back at it again. And this time I'll get it right. Promise. Because this is maddening. This is a little bit on the maddening side. Let's get rid of this video here because you can't hear anything on it. So I'm going to delete it forever. Thank those of you who actually watched. I appreciate you all. But this video is not going to be up. So let's get back to it. Hi, my name is Julien Stoutt. I'm licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, special education teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness. We're about to take off and class is in session. Okay. Today was a very interesting day because not just today, but actually the first day of school was very interesting. I made it through that. I survived. I'm alive. But the inspiration for this video literally came from my first day back at school. Where did the inspiration come from, Julien? What you might ask. And that inspiration was simple. I had 2 students decide to crash out because they didn't want to take off their hat inside the school building because their hair wasn't done. I almost had 3. But I don't know what they had to say to him to convince him to take his do-rag off, but he took it off. But the other 2 refused, absolutely flat out refused. And as a result, one got sent home, the other one was put in school suspension. Okay? Now, with that being said, what frustrated me the most is that's the first day of school back. You knew you had time. You knew what day you were coming back to school. Why didn't you get your hair cut? Why didn't you do your hair? Why did you feel the need to just stick a hat on and think you just come into school and be whatever? Now, before people turn around and come at me and tell me, well, Julien, you know, some kids can't afford to get haircuts and some kids can't do. Yes, we know that. You're not talking to somebody who has no idea what goes on. But I will say is you have resources despite all of that. You are now in the era where you don't have that excuse anymore. You want to know how I can tell you that? Because back in the day when I was a kid, yes, back in my day when I was a kid, it was frowned upon to be wearing cornrows and braids to present yourself to, so say, like corporate America. It was frowned upon to put your hair in twists and all that stuff back then. Whether you're black, Native Hispanic, African Hispanic, white Hispanic, if you cannot do your hair in the traditional sense of getting a haircut, getting some scissors and trimming it up, what you can do is utilize your ethnicity to allow yourself to control the narrative of what you look like. For God's sakes, as African Americans, we don't even have to legitimately like comb our hair anymore. We have to moisturize, we have to make sure it's picked out, and then we could just literally put a style on it that is of natural origin, and we are to be left alone now. You could come to school like that. It is stylish. I wore it myself. I have students that wear it like that. What was the big deal? Why did you have to crash out over your image, especially when you had all the time in the world to prepare for your said image? If you knew you were coming to school and you knew your hair was a mess and you weren't feeling you're going to feel some type of way if somebody saw your hair, why didn't you just cut it or design it or style it or have somebody help you style it? Braid it. Just braid it. And leave it at that. Why couldn't we do that? And I'm going to tell you why that couldn't be done. But later on in this video, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I want you to listen and pay strong attention to what is being said. And before we get into it, yes, these are going to be women talking about their situation, but make no mistake, I got something for the fellas too. Okay? But we're going to get on this real quick. Here we go.
I'm very much eliminating distractions for the rest of 2024. That includes maintenance. I just can't anymore. How much money do you spend monthly?
I think anywhere from 300 to like 1,000 for hair.
Nails are 175.
I have microblading, don't do my brows, but I do wax them 20, 30.
You got laser waxing, 150.
That trip to go get like beauty products, face cleansers and all that, 200 to like 400 easily.
And the bag be this little when you walk out.
With nothing in it.
With nothing in it.
How much are you all spending on maintenance monthly? I'm curious to know what that number looks like for you.
Okay. I'm going to rewind it back just a tad. So I want you to see that number. Okay. What you see there is a maintenance fee of $2,000. To do what? Note, nothing that this woman described in this video has anything to do with the clothes she has on, nor the jewelry she's wearing. This is all up top, right here. This is all it is. That's where the two, and her nails. My bad, I'm sorry. Her fingers and her face. $2,000 a month. For those of y'all who are not mathematically inclined, that's $24,000 a year. Whether that's going through debt or whether it's going through your pockets, that's still $24,000 you could have done something much more positive with. As men, we sit here and we argue with women about wearing their natural hair, exposing their natural beauty. And many a times y'all tell us it ain't for you. It's for me. Right? But that in and of itself is selfish. And why am I saying that it's selfish? Because you're spending $2,000 a month on your hair, your nails, and your face. And 68% of your kids can't read. 25% of you are functionally illiterate. You're more worried about your appearance than you are worried about your financial stability. Instead of putting your head down, grinding and making it happen, and being financially secure and creating that so-called generational wealth that you wanted to create, what you did is you wiped your behind with it and literally scrubbed your face with it too. And you filed your nails down with it, and you waxed your eyebrows with it. To do what? To impress a bunch of women you hardly know and probably don't even like. You don't do it for us, so you can't say, well, I did it to make it look good for y'all because, you know, Lord knows you can't look good. No. Not for that reason. Not for that reason at all. You can't use men as the excuse this time. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. I'm willing to argue on the merit because I hear way too many women say, but this ain't for you. Then who is it for? Is it for you? So if it is literally for you to feel good about yourselves, right? Y'all need a new plan. Because you are literally killing your generational wealth and you are also killing your community wealth by being selfish and vain. $24,000 a year just on your face and your fingers. How much is the jewelry? How much is the clothes? How much are the shoes? How much is the bag? How much is everything else that goes along with it? I want y'all to see something. I really want y'all to see this because this is where y'all are really going to burn your biscuits. Okay? Apple stocks are currently $221 a share. Some of y'all right now probably go, who got money for that? Who got money for that? All right. But you got $24,000 to burn for your face and your fingers, right? So let's go into the calculator real quick. Clear this out. If I spend $24,000 on Apple stocks, one year of purchasing Apple stocks with my hair, face, and nail money, I would have 108 shares in Apple, right? So the women that are doing this to so-called do this for them and impress upon other people how beautiful they are. First thing is what I want, before I even go any further, how many of those women, which one of those two women, or if any of them, was so fine that you had to drop what you was doing in order to look at them? Which one? Let's go, chat. Which one? Put a comment in the chats. Male or female, I don't care. If you're lesbian, that's fine. If you're heterosexual male, that's fine too. Which one of those two women was so fine that if you saw them walking down the street, you would drop everything you got to stare at them until they were no longer in your vision? Me, I'm going to say none. They were pretty. Don't get me wrong. They're pretty women. But so fine that I got to stop what I'm doing to see them? Nah, no, not at all. But the problem is, this is the projection that you're trying to create. This is the illusion and the image you're trying to create. And for what? So 108 shares in 1 year. Average woman does this between the ages of 24 to roughly about 44, where they are in the best look that they'll have for their lives. 24 to about 44. Okay? So that'll be about 20 years. Multiply those shares by 20. You would have 2,164 shares of Apple stock in 20 years if you spend $24,000 a year for the next 20 years. But there's more. Let's assume that the Apple stock price remained the same, never moved a dollar, never moved a penny. But all it did was split. In the 20 years that Apple, in 20 years, let's look at the data. Apple stock has split 5 times since the company went public. So over the last 40 years, almost 40 years, right? It has split a total of 5 times, right? But let's go by the last 20. Let's go by the last 20. For the sake of purposes, let's go 24, since June 21st, 2000 is the earliest I could track, because technically it'll be 19 if I go February 28th, 2005. So we got 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4 splits, right? So let's go back to the calculator. There was 2 splits. Go back, hold on real quick. There was 2 splits that were on a 2-for-1 basis, which means the stock doubled, right? Again, that's assuming the value never changed. Even when it split, it just stayed stagnant, but it split. Times 2 times 2 equals. Then it split again for a 7-to-1. Which means multiply that by now multiply it by 7, the result, times 7 equals 60,616, 17 shares, right? And it split one more time on a 4-to-1 basis. Multiply that by 4. You have a 242,468 shares in Apple stock. If the stock never moved a penny from what it is today, but just merely split the 4 times it has split in 24 years, which would mean you are 68 years old, assuming that when you finally put your final $24,000 in, Apple waited for you before it started to split. So from the age of 44 to 68, you will have 242,468 shares in Apple. Let's find out what the retail value is, because if you spent $24,000 a year over the next 20 years, that's $480,000, people. Y'all talk about generational wealth. That's already generational wealth in of itself. Even if the money never moved, you got $480,000 sitting in the bank, just sitting around waiting to be collected at the age of 44. But now you're 68 years old. Let's see how much that's going to cost you. Times 221.72. You have $53,760,000. $53,760,000. If you just donated that money into the stock market, into a stock that has been as reliable as Apple has been since 2000, if you invested that money for those 20 years, and then all of a sudden, those for 20 years, and then all of a sudden, 24 years, within the next 24 years, that Apple stock that you invested in split 4 times. And in that split 4 times, that's 2, that's 4. 4, that's 28, 28, 4. That's 90. No. 24. 28. 4, that's 80, 30. That's one, what is that? 113? 112? Somewhere around there. 112 times. It multiplied 112 times in 24 years. So if we do the average of how often it'll split, clear that. 4 times 7. Clear. 4 times 7 times 4. It split 112 times. And then divide that by 24. That means on average, annually, that stock will split 4.5 times annually on average. Okay? You're telling me $53,760,000 is not generational wealth money? But where is it going? On your face. Where is it going? On your head, on your fingers, raptor claws when we like, we don't like those. Oh, but ladies, you thought I was just going to be on y'all on this. Nah, we ain't going to do that. I'm going to be fair. Fellas, how much do you spend on haircuts every single week? I know the answer to that. The answer is $60. Because it's $50 plus a $10 tip to the barber. Multiply that by 4. And then multiply that again by 12. You spend $2,880 a year on your hair. Black men or men that like urban cuts. Right? If you're into your face stuff like I am with your Tej Hanley and all that stuff, shout out to them. You're spending maybe on average about $40, which comes out to be $480. So 480 plus, well, that's divide, plus $2,800. That comes out to $3,360 a year. Oh yeah. See, we ain't all that superficial. Yes, you are. Yes, we are. How much does your car cost? How many of y'all bought a car to impress a bunch of women that you ain't even going to talk to past tomorrow? I'll wait. How many of you are literally driving a whip, single, and that whip is not even worth the woman that's in it? And I don't mean women aren't worth anything. I'm talking about specifically that woman that's in your car that you're picking up right now, or that you're picking up or you've picked up 15 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago. That woman. You really ain't into her. You're not. You're just trying to impress her, right? You, lady, who is in that car with him, spent $24,000 this calendar year, on your looks to impress this dude to take you out to a restaurant better than the Cheesecake Factory so you could feed your broke behind, and he himself is eating the same ramen noodles you eating when y'all go home, except for this date that y'all are on, where y'all are spending almost $300 on a dinner. Supposedly that's what y'all want to do, right? So in that process, So in that process, guess what? What are we doing? What are we doing? How is it any better for either one of you? Y'all are both eating macaroni with bologna, with ramen noodles. If you're lucky, you'll get a can of soup. Or wash it all down with a Red Bull. We haven't even gotten into vices and habits. Some of y'all smoke weed. I know it ain't cheap. Regardless of the fact that I have never touched the stuff, I'm not stupid. It ain't cheap. If you're going to a reputable smoke shop, you're spending upwards of $80 for a few blunts that you'll probably smoke before we hit Saturday. And you're smoking them at least daily. Okay? We're not getting into the technology of vaping and waxing and dabbing and all this other stuff, which is even more expensive. We're strictly talking, you smoke weed, you're that's one. You drink every day. You drink every day. Y'all drink Hennessy, that's $45 a bottle. And the way y'all drink, y'all are going to be done literally by the end of the month. And that's if you're lucky, because some of y'all would drink a whole bottle within a matter of days. And you got to go get another one, right? Let's do that math, fellas. Because, fellas, we drink the Hennessy, right? So you got $45 times 12. That's $540 a year. Added on to the $3,360. And you got $3,900. How much is your car payment? I already know. Bare minimum. If you're styling and profiling with the rims and the sound system that'll wake the dead, you're paying upwards of $650 a month. Correction, let me do that again. $650 times 12 plus the $3,900. You're spending $11,700 just to impress people. Just to impress people. Now imagine. Let's combine those numbers together. You're talking about $35,700. You're talking about the average person's salary just to try to perpetrate a fraud that you're balling. $35,700. That's what we are perpetrating a fraud with. And that's just on ourselves. I already told you. 25% of you are functionally illiterate. 68% of you can't read at grade level. Don't believe me? Look at the statistics. Go. Feel free. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. But yet, we're screaming generational wealth. We should have it. We need to get together and we need to build our communities and this, that, the other. We need to pull ourselves up and we need to help each. You're wiping your behind with a whole year's salary of the average person. Just to perpetrate like you live in it. I've seen on videos where people are shaming the other people for the outfit that they have on. And I'm going to tell you, this shirt right now, let me pull up real quick because I want y'all to see me up close and personal. This shirt, Temu. Not even Temu, I mean Shein. So, and what's your point? I have my own logo. I have my own brand. I don't need to wear the next man's sweater in order to impress people. I impress myself. I impress upon other people that I am about business. That's what I'm doing. Some of y'all got more Jordans than Michael himself. It's so bad that I'm pretty sure if Michael Jordan went into your house and saw your sneaker collection, he would literally be appalled. Because unlike y'all, Michael Jordan gets every pair of his sneakers that he purchases eventually for free. Because what y'all don't know is that Michael Jordan could write his own sneakers off of his taxes. That's why Michael Jordan could afford to wear a fresh pair of Jordans every single game of his NBA career ever since he signed with Nike. That is why he can supply his closest friends and family with an entire wardrobe of Jordan gear on his dime, because it is a tax write-off. It's advertising, geniuses. You have he is the logo. Jumpman. He is the man on those shoes. Literally. He's the man on those shoes. Every time he puts on himself, that's advertising. Some of y'all got more pairs of Jordans than Jordan himself. Like you are Michael Jordan himself. Now don't get it twisted. I got my pairs. But like Michael Jordan, tax write-off. Why? Personal trainer. I wear shoes. I need shoes. I need shoes to wear when I'm active and I'm performing on the floor. Full disclosure. Not a one of y'all got a business model, even a business model, where you could turn around and justify buying those sneakers as you do for advertising. Mine's a supply. I can't use it as advertising. It's not my logo. It's not my brand. But you best rest assured, everything that I put on with my logo on it is a tax write-off. Everything you see me wear. It's not a secret. I tell this to all my students. I'm not hiding. I'm not pretending. I'm not faking the funk. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. And I look good in my clothes. I look good in my logo. I look good with my Letterman jacket. I look good with all of it. My jogging gear, my workout gear, all of it. My sweatshirts. But guess what? That's mine. I'm not saying don't buy anything from anybody. But what I am saying is, why are you giving away your wealth? Why are you giving away your wealth in such a way that you cannot climb out of the hole to success? Because again, we didn't even get into all of that. The clothes, the Balenciagas, the Yeezys, the Louis purse, the Louis sneakers, the Louis man bag, the Louis purse, the Coach bags. We didn't get into any of that. All we got into is, ladies, your hair, your face, and your nails. And fellas, your feet, your head, and your ride. We didn't even get into jewelry. Generational wealth. We got to come together. We got to do this and we got to do that, and you ain't got the money. Not because you don't have the money, but because you're spending your money stupid. Your mindset is poor. And I promised you I was going to tell you exactly why you're doing it. I'm going to tell you why you're doing it. Because you have a low self-esteem and a poor mindset. Your self-esteem is low. And instead of you putting it into something like yourself, invest in yourself. Go to the gym. You want to look good? Go to the gym. Go work out hard. Not lifting 2-pound weights and then wiping your newly waxed eyebrow and then putting on makeup and then leaving. Or in some of y'all ladies' cases, y'all have the makeup on while you're at the gym. We don't take y'all seriously at the gym, ladies. Those of y'all who do that, we don't take y'all seriously. We look at y'all and laugh. Because at the end of the day, you ain't break a sweat enough to even ruin your makeup. What you there for? You there for you? Really? You're there to gain attention. Whether you want more than that attention or not is irrelevant, but you want attention. And we all see it. It's as plain as day. Where is that lady that has her hair tied up? She comes in. She might be scantily clad or not, but the body's bodying because she's putting in work. She's probably squatting more than your boyfriend. She's probably squatting more than your dad. She's probably benching more than your dad. She's in there putting in that work. Those are the ladies we take seriously. We know are doing the work. But when you come up in there with your face painted, your face is all beat, you got blush on, a little colored lip gloss or whatever, and you get in front of the mirror and you're doing all of this, and girl, stop. And then you get on the treadmill and trot for a couple of minutes. No, you're not fooling nobody. It ain't working. Fellas, y'all don't even go to the gym. Those of y'all who have to quote unquote floss like that, you're not in the gym. You think your money speaks for you. And the sad part is it does speak for you if you were using it right. Instead of using it as a means to attain a woman, why don't you use it to build your family and be with a real woman instead of a woman that's using you for a lunch or for dinner? You're her sponsor, not her boyfriend, not her husband. You're her sponsor. ASPCA commercials, in the arms of an angel. Right? Just 85 cents a day and you could feed. No, absolutely not. You're not doing that. You're trying to pimp. You're simping. To what end? To go home and eat what's left of that $150 dinner on your end. Enjoy that $150 dinner and then starve for the rest of the month. Because you eating ramen noodles for the rest of the month. Don't even think about another steak. Don't even look at, shoot, you might be even lucky to get chicken. Average food budget is for one person. Average food budget for one person is $250 to $300 a month. If you're buying groceries and cooking, you spend your money out. Go ahead. Yet here we are. $53,760,000 is what you're wiping your behind with. And those of y'all who are not taking care of yourselves, you're also negative $300,000. So you Those of you who are not taking care of themselves, but literally trying to paint themselves up to look like Beyonce when you ain't even, you're beyond they. Beyond they. Guess what? You're now in the hole $54 million. $54,060,000 to be exact. Because you didn't use your money wisely and you did not invest in yourself. Nor your children. Let's even get down to the children. Shall we? The $24,000, let's even say that you even blew that money on your kid. Positively. Not to get them some Balenciagas and some Gucci belts and Louis scarves and all that stuff. We're not talking about that. But you actually spent money on your kid to further educate them and give them knowledge, or to help them along because they were struggling originally. But you invested in your child to actually work hard enough to become somebody special in the ways where, when I say special, meaning that they're actually a productive member of society. That's special. I'm not even talking about the Stephen A. Smiths, the LeBron James, the Steph Currys of the world. I'm literally talking about being special enough to work your behind off to actually earn a decent paycheck from month to month, from year to year. That's still special, despite what they tell you. Because 30% of the population is living under poverty. So if your child is living above poverty, they're special. They're in the 70th percentile of people just making above the poverty line. But you're not spending your money on your kid. You're spending it on you. Both of you. Okay? Already told you 25% of you are functionally illiterate. So guess what? You're not spending it on your kid who's functionally illiterate right now. You're not spending it on them. You're spending it on weed. Spending it on alcohol, your vices. Some of y'all are trying to emulate people on TV and videos and YouTube channels. You're trying to emulate them for what? To say you got it like them, or you're trying to be like them? Most of them are broke. Not a game. You think those studio sessions are cheap? You think those editing videos are cheap? You think that sound system is cheap? It could be if you're smart. You think that advance that you made on your record deal was cheap? You got to pay that all back, and you're only making $50,000 a show after you get on. And that's if you sign with a label. That's not even accounting for travel. That's not even accounting for your vices of what, Cristal, Patron, Henny. We ain't even accounting for those vices. Just your business expenses is going to put you in the hole if you do not kill record sales. Y'all think your favorite rappers got it like that, and he really don't. That jewelry is borrowed. For the most of them, it's borrowed. Even the logo chains that they got. The chains where it's the record label on their neck. Guess what? The record label owns it. And they give it to every last one of their artists. They all have one. But the record label owns it. So if you turn around and mess up and you don't make it and your contract with them ends and you're in the hole, give me back my chain. But my name is on it, so it's mine. I own it. And as a matter of fact, I'm not even getting full value for it. I might have spent $240,000 on that chain. I'm only going to get back 40. But that's just me. I'm going to land this plane. Do me a favor before we go. Put a like and click the subscribe button so that way you could get every bit of information that I put out, because it is important, because the algorithm needs it, because the more people that like it, the more people that click on it and share this video, the more it will populate, and the better we do, and the better we do, the more money I make, and the more money I make, I can make a better production, and the better production I make is better shows. Okay, I really want to get that going. I really want to do this. I want to really get this going. It would help me immensely if you guys would actually do that for me. So if you are going to do that for me, once you like this video, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat itself. Just put just click on the 1 on your phone or on your computer, wherever you're watching, and just click on it for me, so that way the algorithm sees me and the algorithm appreciates me and then rewards me with showing my video to more people. All right. So now the plane is on the runway. We're about to get to the terminal. And I'm going to say this one more time. If you truly want to build generational wealth, if you as black people are tired of crashing out over image, come with me. Pause. But run with me and allow us to actually do something greater than ourselves. Allow us to turn around and help each other be the best that we can possibly be. And that is to look each other in the eye and hold each other accountable about our mindsets and help encourage everybody. It's a part of the mean philosophy. Please, it would do me a great service if you did that. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me here on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram. Have a nice day. Be the best you. And class is stout.